G'day ladies and gentlemen, it is Duckville here, going to be bringing to you a match that was, unfortunately, well, it was in the lower bracket of the ESL IM Shanghai C qualifiers, which had some of the best players, the top 8 players that we had in the C region that were qualifying for one spot to go to IEM Shanghai. If you didn't get to see the live broadcast that was across the weekend, please jump on to twitch.tv/ESL_Australia. You can have a look at the VODs there and have a look at particularly the grand final. There was a wonderful, wonderful grand final between two really good players there. But this one was earlier on in the bracket. We didn't get to broadcast it. It is going to be a best of 3 between our Zerg player down at the bottom right hand side on Newkirk Precinct TE and a Protoss on the opposite side. But down here is our yellow Zerg, who is one of the very well-known Zerg players from the C region. Of course, you know, everyone will be saying we have lots of Zergs down here, but this is one of the particular ones who has a lot of skill and has been showing it left, right, and center, winning some tournaments all over the place, and then also getting #1 on the NA ladder GM. It is Frenetic Arrays Petraeus. Now, his name says dedication here. That's a little bit of an inside joke, I suppose you could say, but that is what his account is on C, interestingly. But his opponent over at the bottom left-hand side is our green Protoss player, who is currently playing for Team Flash, and interestingly, his name in Polish means Flash. It is Blysk. Now, Blysk is a Singaporean Protoss player who is one of the best C Protoss players, I suppose you could say. As I mentioned, this is from the lower bracket of the tournament, so that is what we are dealing with here. Just sort of like the first round of the lower bracket, I suppose I should mention. So, interestingly, we do have a Forge inside the main from Blysk here, going for a little bit of a different style. This is something that was a little bit more popular during the days of Parting Soul Train. But he is going to come across, I suspect, just judging by the fact that we do have this probe heading out, there may be a little bit of a cannon rush coming on. In fact, yes, that is exactly what we're going to see. So, this is a very simple kind of place the cannon rush. You can just set up the pylon here. You can normally, what you will see is people will sort of set up another set of pylons just down the back here, but Petraeus wisely gets his drone inside. You need to be very careful about the positioning here. There are other spots you can wall off, but normally you won't get it on this edge here. It's normally going to be on this side. And Blysk is able to get the cannon down. He looks to try and block off the pylon, the cannon, so that the pylon can get completed. And well, I don't know, I don't think this is going to work too well. The two cannons here, unfortunately, they're a little bit misplaced. It does take 4 workers to take down a cannon before it completes, but Petraeus is going to set up a couple of spines now. His spawning pool inside the main has completed, is now... What are you doing there, Mr. Drone? It looks like that drone is going to hang out just to the side of the extractor. But one cannon does get up. It looks like a second is also on the way. And a third just down the back will be added in. So Blysk is actually looking like he may be able to at least pull this off for the moment. Petraeus is going to send in a couple of the lings just to pick apart some of the cannons here. Take off a little bit of health, which is always nice. And that cannon is actually going to go down very, very quickly here. With lots more lings about to pop out here from Petraeus. I think he may be okay. Yeah, he's just going to move forward with those spine coolers. And of course, when the spines are in a good position, they are able to deal with cannons very, very easily. And now we can see that Blysk is probably going to lose his attack. He will lose a few of those lings in the process. Maybe it would be nice to target down one of these drones, but no. Well, actually, he's going to get the drone anyway. Cannon does take it out, so not, I don't think that was the most successful cannon rush of all time. He unfortunately just missed the hatchery here, but did take down a lot of the lings and forced a lot of lings, which means that Petraeus' drone count is down at 16, while Blysk is up to 28 probes. Now, of course, I'm sure a few of you will have noticed that I am using a slightly different overlay. This time, I am helping out with the testing of the new GameHeart interface. Now, keep in mind, GameHeart, normally it runs a completely new map with the overlays all edited, and that's why it looks all very nice and handsome and sexy. But this is actually an interface file, so this works across any map. So this is a little bit different here. So I'm just testing this one out. Big thanks to the GameHeart folks over there for letting me help out. Ali, I think, was the one who sent it across and was able to said, Duckville, put together a VOD and we'll get started and have a look at how it goes. So keep in mind, this is a little bit of an, sort of, it's still in the testing phases. There may be some issues with the interface, like I've I can see just a couple of slight ones at the moment, but that's okay. We'll deal with that later. But let's just talk about this game. So far, Blysk has done a really good job at just holding up his opponent's economy. We can see that with the drone count now down at 26, Petraeus is going to be a little bit further behind where he would like to be, but he has finally gotten this natural base started and mining quite nicely. We can see for the moment that he has also picked up a third base, and will be looking to take a... look, just wants to sort of re-establish a firm economy here. We'll probably just see him drone up pretty hard, has metabolic boost to make sure that he is safe against any possible attacks that may come across from Blysk. But Blysk is going to get a Stargate. We haven't had any weapons upgrades come out just as of yet, so you know, obviously a big sign that you are going to go for Stargate tech and possibly a couple of Phoenix right at the start is that we don't see any Forge upgrades. And now with the third and fourth gas here, he is going to be in a good position to start up those, the Stargate tech here, and even a Robo gets started here. So Blysk is looking very, very comfortable at the moment. He's got his APM sitting up quite nicely up there at around about 200, as you can see down the bottom right-hand side. We can also see the income there, very nicely laid out here in the Game Heart interface. So I really like to see that, and we'll see how Petraeus is going to deal with the potential for some Stargate pressure coming out from his opponent. A Roach Burn goes down, Evo Chamber as well, have gotten started with a little bit of creep spread, and Petraeus is, you know, he's just moving himself back into a normal sort of position. We've mentioned a couple of times, he just wants to get his economy back to a stable spot. The lair is now on the way, second gas about to pop up, the third and the fourth gases are now on the way, so he's going to start to look to get his tech running. Of course, with an Evo Chamber, we'll probably see, I would presume it's going to be missile attacks coming out from Petraeus, but we'll see in a moment. Some more drones have just finished up, but as we can see, Blysk is going to get ready for a little bit of a push himself. He's got a couple of extra gateways that have been added on. In fact, it looks as if he's just going to pick up a third base here. Just wants to keep his own economy in quite a decent shape, and with the Void Ray now coming out, he's going to be nicely positioned to roam around the map. There is already a Phoenix. Unfortunately, he has not caught that Overlord, but he will find it now. There you go. Mr. Overlord is going to go down, and that will limit quite a lot of Petraeus' scouting options. So we'll see these links just come across. We'll find that there is going to be a nice little wall set up here. Forces a cancel. In fact, doesn't even get the cancel on a gateway, but a little bit of a cannon wall off there coming out from Blysk. He wants to make sure that he is all prepared for this. There is the +1 missile we mentioned before, and the infestation pit, Hydralisk Den, all going down. So it looks as if Petraeus is getting prepared for a possible Roach Hydra based mid-game army here. He's got his Roach speed also on the way. We can see another 9 drones about to pop out. Going to take him to a total of 60 drones in a moment. That is going to be a really nice total for him. And we can see that the creep spread is slowly but surely making its way out. We normally see another queen out here from him, but it looks as if he's had to sort of just dial it back a notch to make sure he gets everything in shape. But the Evo Chamber, second Evo Chamber, is now on the way, and things are going to look very, very intriguing here for Petraeus and Blysk as we move into the mid-game with our Protoss now on 3 bases, and he's going to have a lot of gates up and running. We can see the upgrades are they going to start to come out? We've already got +1, whereas he hasn't got the Twilight Council just yet, but I think he's going to add that on probably pretty soon. But no extra upgrades just as of yet for Blysk. Got a lot of chrono here, Blysk. You may need to pump that into something, maybe to get some more probes out, perhaps more units. But I really like this. This setup just down the back here is really, really cute. We've got a gateway, the pylon is here, and then the cannon actually protects the majority of this mineral line here. But and it not only defends it against attacks that come in from this direction, but also from the backside as well. So if there is some kind of Mutalisk switch that comes out for Petraeus, it's not going to be completely easy, like a super easy task to get into that third base and harass. So we can see now that Petraeus is going to go quickly up to his Hive tech here. The reason for this is that he wants to make sure that he has those Vipers out. Vipers are extremely, extremely helpful in dealing with the 3 base Protoss, not only for things like Abduct to pull these Colossi out of position, but also for Blinding Cloud. If you're faced up against a Protoss player who has, as we can see, 8 gates and possibly more shaping up to join up very soon, lots of Stalkers will come out, and that could be something which can be very hard to deal with. But what you can do is throw down a Blinding Cloud or 2 and limit the Stalkers' effectiveness there. So It looks as if we will have Hydra Groove Spines on already done, and now the Muscular Augments is also coming through as well. We can see now that the +2 to missile attacks and the +1 to carapace are all on the way for Petraeus. So he's finally moving back into a very comfortable position. There are those 3 Vipers I mentioned, always wanting to get those Vipers out really quickly because they help out so incredibly much. And his 4th base is now up and running. So Petraeus is, you know, he's going to be feeling really comfortable now. He's been able to, you know, weather the storm, as it were, even though Psystorm isn't actually complete, but weather the storm in terms of just holding out the mid-game here, where it is possible that a Protoss can do a, like a very heavy gateway-based push after a successful cannon rush there, or marginally successful cannon rush, and Blysk has set up. This is a little bit interesting. I actually spoke to Blysk about this because I did see what he'd done here, and this is really interesting. This kind of like some kind of way to help complete a wall off. I think he mentioned he wanted to get something like this going, where he had basically no entry points on this side of the wall at the 3rd base. Wanted to make sure that the Zerg was coming in from this direction. So that was actually really interesting when I first saw that. But he is going to try and set up his 4th base. It looks like some Lings of Petraeus have found that the Nexus is attempting to go up. Keep in mind that the Lings don't exactly have that much in their upgrades here. We've currently got just the +1 on their carapaces done, so it's not as if they're going to be doing a huge amount of damage. And now with Templar, with lots more Zealots, with their +2 to weapons being researched right now, Blysk is going to have a quite a sizable and powerful force here in this mid-game battle, which it looks as if is about to occur. Void Rays and some of the Zealots actually moving really far out of position, and Abduct 1, 2, pulls the Colossi out, and Blysk is going to be very, very unhappy with that engagement there, but it looks as if he will go in anyway. Storms down the back, ripping apart the Hydras. The Colossi say, thank you for pulling me into the range of those Hydras that were retreating there, and that actually worked out not too badly for Petraeus there, in terms of the fact that he did knock out the 4th base. He's going to kill off a couple of these Zealots, even the cannons that were there, but he did lose the majority of his army, and now we can see the Blysk is going to proceed with a Zealot counter-attack inside the main base. Charge lots in here. Their +2 to weapons is still a moment away, but the Zerg upgrades are all looking very nice. We got +1 already done on the armor, 2 is on the way now for the, is already done for the weapons, and these roaches will be easily able to clean up these Zealots here for Petraeus. So it looks as if Petraeus is going to be safe inside his main base. His army count looking pretty decent, up there at 112 supply as the army, with 73 drones to the 74 probes. Blysk is going to need to, you know, I would love to see a 2nd forge right about now, just to make sure that he can add in his extra upgrades, because it's always a nice thing to have those extra armor upgrades. The shield, even the shield upgrades can be really helpful when you have those power units, such as the Colossi, the Void Rays, and the Archons. Of course, the Archons have a ridiculous amount of shields there, so that's part of how they make themselves very useful through the latter stages of the game. We can see now that Blysk is going to be able to set up a 4th base here. It looks like we'll get a standard sort of wall off here with a couple of gateways. It's going to look very similar to the way his natural is also walled off. There's another pylon. We got a gateway down the back, another cannon also going to go up, but Petraeus is approaching, and he does have a few dragonflies in the sky. The Vipers now making their way across. Blysk is very bunched up. This could be very dangerous for him, not only for Blinding Cloud, but for the Abducts as well. There is a storm, a couple of good feedbacks from Blysk. He does really well in tearing that apart, and actually takes a bit of a decent position here in this battle. Prismatic Alignment activates on the Void Rays. They're going to go to town on all the Roaches and the Hydras. Blysk going to chase half the forces up to the top of the map. Petraeus will obviously be very happy to keep a lot of his units alive. We'll lose these small forces that are up the top, but no big deal. We've now got 15 Hydras and a couple of Ultralisks on the way. So Petraeus is going to start to move into a little bit of a heavier army with those Ultralisks coming out on the field. They don't have too many upgrades just as of yet, but they are going to get their +2 on their, +1 on their melee attacks very soon. Their carapace will be done at level 3 very soon, and chitinous plating is also on the way. So Petraeus starting to move across into that the beefier tech, as it were, the high DPS Hydras, the tanky as hell Ultralisks are going to be added onto the field as well, and with a couple more Vipers, he should be able to really take a stable position in this mid game. both players just about maxed out. But as we can see, Petraeus trying to attack into the 4th base. He's probably not going to get too much done here. The Lings are going to slowly bust through that Zealot at the front, but I mean the cannon should be able to dispose of them very quickly. And with just a small resupply here, Blysk will be able to restabilize as he now pushes towards his opponent's base. And with the Templar all ready to go, they're all pumped up and they've got a bit of energy available. A few storms will be there for Blysk. This is going to be very, very interesting here. There is another proxy attack inside the main. Doesn't actually get too much done, but the Zealots will be able to hack apart, get a couple of worker kills there. Very nicely done. But the main battle occurs just outside the 3rd base of Petraeus. Void Rays activating their prismatic alignment. Colossi down the back doing a wonderful job. It looks as if we did get a couple of storms there as well. And Petraeus falls down in a flurry of laser beams just outside the 3rd. So hope you guys enjoyed game number 1. We'll move into game number 2 in just a moment and have a look and see if Petraeus can make a fight back. Very standard and won't throw out crazy stuff too often. So we will see this, the 11-minute timing. The Mothership Core going to have a quick look and see what she can find in there, but a couple of Marines will poke about and try and defend against that. So we can see that the stim is now on